What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to, I guess this is an emergency Cobra Cast. There's a lot going on right now, but nothing more important than the complete and total collapse of Kamala Harris right before our very eyes, with Bret Baier of Fox News questioning her. And this is probably the single worst case scenario for her. This was bad. This was absolutely fucking horrific for her. There's a lot to talk about, so you might as well just get comfortable because there's a lot to cover with the Kamala Harris situation. Obviously, my Piers Morgan appearance has just been uploaded in the last hour or two. You got this Asmund Gold controversy, and my response to that is like going viral right now. A lot going on. Holy shit. But we have to start with Kamala. And let's go ahead and just jump right into it right here. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to upload we're going to go over certain bits and pieces of it right here. I just got in, so I apologize for not going live while it was going on. I just got in, so I just set up all my equipment, everything here. So here we go. Listen to this.
All over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because
as loud as I can get it.
It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Bret, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath,
do you hear how slow she's repeating these things? You know why she's doing that? She's buying herself time to think of some word salad to start spitting out. That's why she's doing that. Because she is not equipped to be a fucking leader. She has no idea what she's doing. She is completely out of her element. She's never been put in this position. She doesn't have a fucking clue.
First bill that we offered Congress before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the.
Yes, ma'am. May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish.
You had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm responding to the point you're raising.
Okay.
This is so fucking bad. This is so beautiful. This is on top of that. And I just want to show you guys really quickly because this is all happening in real time right now. All of this information that we're seeing. Let me pull this up right quick and switch over because I just saw this and I bookmarked it really quickly. So Trump is crushing it. Trump is everywhere right now. Okay. So I just saw this while the Kamala collapse is going on. This happened.
Okay, so I just finished a conversation with this gentleman here. You may recognize the one and only 45, soon to be 47.
and I think you'll like it.
Goes out Thursday, 9 a.m. See you there.
Whoa! Trump on Patrick Bet David. Are you kidding me right now? This is insane.
I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That
Sorry, I'm still trying to reposition everything right now. So that's just one clip. There's a lot more. Okay. So you've got clips like this right here. Is this it? There was another one where every answer that she gave, she kept blaming Donald Trump for it. Every single answer was Donald Trump, but Donald Trump, but Donald Trump, but Donald Trump. No, you can't say that. You're tanking. There was one point where Bret Baier said, hey, half the country more than half the country trust Donald Trump with the economy over you. Can you explain that? And she just completely just dodged the question. She couldn't answer any of it. It's truly astonishing what we are witnessing right now. Colin Rugg had a video right here. I think this might be it. Let me share this one. Here we go. Is this the one?
He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
Oh, they had the clip ready. Bro, do you know why? Because they already knew her talking points, because she's so predictable. I'm going to back this up one more time, because this is fucking fantastic right here. One more time. It's how predictable she is. Imagine if somebody like Bret Baier knows that you're predictable and he can set you up like this. Imagine what a world leader is going to be able to do to this clown. She's done.
He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Bret, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Oh, really? Really? Do you want to? I don't know, because I didn't catch the first few minutes of this interview, but do you want to talk about Project 2025 and how you've misrepresented that one? Do you want to talk about good people on both sides? You want to talk about how you misrepresented that? You misrepresent everything Donald Trump says. Everything.
he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to
you, that was
you,
the question that we asked him.
you didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
This is so good. This is so good. And then we get this one right here. Kamala, when asked why she supports transgender surgeries for prisoners.
This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery. For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law.
Oh, what a terrible fucking answer. Oh my goodness. Holy shit.
And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to
happened
take
during
responsible for what
his
happened in
presidency.
your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
It's in
So
black and white.
would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I
you have a
think
say
Donald
in
Trump would
this.
say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think he spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people.
This is amazing. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, watch this.
You said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect.
That was a good pause right there. That was a good pause.
Immigration system. I've been clear. I think we all are. That it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Bret.
Well,
that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question.
But
There were
that's how the
90
system
plus
works.
executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done.
Quote, a failure.
Listen to her answer one more time. Listen to what she says.
You've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it.
This is one of the dumbest people to ever hold any type of public office I have ever. Kamala Harris is the definition of a DEI hire. She is the poster child for the DEI hire. Unqualified, low IQ, very stupid. She is a poster child. Absolutely crazy, man.
They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock.
How do you know? You've never even been there until you got a chance to go for your photo op. And I want everybody to understand the drastic difference, okay? The drastic difference that we have right before our very eyes. Because we're seeing it in real time. We're seeing it in real time. So let me show you one more time, because this was just yesterday. Okay, this is how a leader commands the moment and commands a room right here. This is how a leader handles business.
I think it's the greatest job in government. You show up to the office once a month and you say, let's see, flip a coin. And everybody talks about you like you're a god. Oh, what will he do? I mean, before, the guy used to walk into my office, he was like begging. Oh, he was fine.
But you did talk about you talked about removing him once.
I did, because he was keeping the rates too high.
Yeah.
And I was right. What does the Wall Street Journal know? They've been wrong about everything. So have you, by the way. You've been wrong about
You're trying to turn this. You're trying to turn this.
You've been wrong.
No, you're trying to turn this into debate. There are business people. There are business
You're wrong.
people.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong all your life on this stuff. We're gonna.
You've been wrong all your life on this stuff, right to the dude's face. Alpha Chad MAGA King energy one more time.
You're trying to turn this. You're trying to turn this.
You've been wrong.
No, you're trying to turn this into debate. There are business people. There are business
You're wrong.
people.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong all your life on this stuff. We're going to put tariffs on them, and they're going to do. And you know what they can do? The Mercedes-Benz will start building in the United States, and they have a little bit, but you know what they really are? Assembly, like in South Carolina. But they build everything in Germany, and then they assemble it here. They get away with murder because they say, oh, yes, we're building cars. They don't build cars. They take them out of a box and they assemble them. We could have our child do it.
Tariffs also have another side. Isn't that something that you have to acknowledge?
No.
You could be plunging America into the biggest trade war since Smoot-Hawley.
But there are no tariffs.
You're going to stop. There are tariffs already.
No,
at the
there are
moment.
no tariffs. All you have to do is build your plant in the United States, and you don't have any tariffs.
But people,
This
a
is
lot
what
of
I
places like
How about this? Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California.
Newsom.
He signed Newsom, I call him.
Yeah. But do you think?
No, he
by the way,
corrected me. He corrected me. I said,
There are
that's the first time I've been corrected.
There are CEOs out here. If they said those sort of things about a rival CEO, they'd be sacked. Do you think
I know,
it's
but
fine
they don't
for
have
a
to
president?
survive like me. They don't have to go through what I have to go through. There's never been a president that's been treated like me, so I have to fight my own way.
You made a.
Never apologize. That's exactly how it should be right there. President Trump never apologizing for the bullshit that they put him through. I see a lot of you here. I appreciate it. I see a lot of super chats. I'm going to get to all of them. A lot going on, a very busy day, a lot to discuss. But the main thing we have to continue to discuss right now is the collapse of Kamala Harris, because it's very, very bad right now for her. And I don't think this right here this is really bad. Okay. Trump War Room is tweeting stuff out right here. So Trump War Room, Kamala screaming, has completely cracked under the pressure of her first non-softball interview of her vice presidency. This is an unmitigated disaster for her, humiliating.
Talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. Talked about locking people up because they disagree with him.
This is brutal, bro. I mean, this is absolutely brutal. Right here, here's another one that we will pull up from the Trump War Room. Benny Johnson shared it. Here we go.
You call Donald Trump. He's misguided. You say now
He's unstable. He is unstable, Bret.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles.
God, dude, she walked right into it. Bret Baier set her up and she walked right into it. He let her keep walking out there. I can't believe how much of an own this was. One more time, watch what he's doing. Watch him allow her to just walk all the way out there, and then he hits her with it.
You call Donald Trump He's misguided. You say now
He's
he
unstable.
is unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden.
Did you see how aggressive she was with the Trump thing? He couldn't shut her up. And then the moment he asked about the man that she has worked with for 3.5 years, she had nothing. She had nothing.
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
But
is.
you talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump.
Oh, God, this is so fucking bad. This is, oh my goodness. I'm not sure I've ever seen a beatdown this bad.
You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office.
Wow. Holy shit. Oh man, this is one of the greatest collapses we have ever seen. Wow. Thank you guys for being here. I see Dragon Dan said, you didn't seem as nervous as you thought on Piers Morgan. I like how you were able to slip in a jab at TLJ at the end. The retail bit was good too. I was a nervous fucking wreck. I'm glad that I hit it, but I was a fucking wreck during that. So I don't know if you guys have watched it, but I was on Piers Morgan. This is the promo clip that they ran right here. Here we go. I mean, ultimately, it just represents Hollywood in a nutshell. They hate their fans.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, who is an acclaimed actor, was effectively asked to make a souffle out of cow dung. It was so bad.
Fans and audiences want men to be men and women to be women.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean, the only people that know the truth are
that was a good line right there. That was a good line.
Cow dung. It was so bad.
Fans and audiences want men to be men and women to be women.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean, the only
So yeah, I was on Piers Morgan. That's over on the Piers Morgan uncensored YouTube channel. And yeah, I'm not sure I've ever been more nervous for any show. And it's not because of it's Piers Morgan necessarily or anything like that. It's just because of the structure of the show and how they funnel you in and funnel you out, and you've got producers in your ears, and I'm not criticizing it at all, by the way. It's a very professional setup, something I am not used to at all. So, you know, the certain way they want your camera to be angled, the certain way you need to sit in your chair, like I was a fucking mess. I was scared to death. But I pulled it off, I guess, according to what people are saying. And by the way, the comment section on the Piers Morgan YouTube channel, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I'm not one for compliments, but in that situation, when it's on a big channel like that or a big network that I was on, at least it shows that we do have a little bit of a following over here on this little corner of the internet. So you guys are fantastic in the comment section. But yeah, man. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Kamala stuff right now is kind of at the forefront of what I want to discuss, because this is what I've been covering for the last few years, and we are now like this could be catastrophic for the campaign. I think it probably is. I have not seen this clip yet, but let's hear what they say right here.
So her answers are not going to pass the smell test with an audience who has watched loyally. We have more Republicans, Democrats, and independents than watch than any other news channel. And we have covered immigration since well going back. I've been here 14 years. We always talk about it. And one of the things she does is she sandwiches in the bill she's talking about, which you clarified, and then the bill she says that Trump killed. In between those things is when you had the millions of people flooding into the country with no other reporter but Bill Malugin and Griff Jenkins down there at the border covering it. The story of a lifetime. And now people are dealing with that in not only in New York City, or not even just the border states, they're dealing with it in all the major cities. And they're dealing with increased housing costs and the problems with the schools and increasing crime. And what about the jobs? I mean, all of those things. Now, I just wonder if at some point, if acceptance is the first step of recovery, if she had ever said something like, we could have done a better job on the border, just acknowledge it. Like what would happen? Would the whole entire campaign fall apart? Because the majority of people think that Trump would be better on immigration. So
yeah, I mean, we're dealing with someone that does not know what she's doing in Kamala Harris. She has no idea what she's doing. She has no idea how to answer questions. She has no idea how to take any ownership in anything. A very low IQ human being is who we're dealing with right now. I don't know if I've seen this clip right here, so we will watch this clip next. Here we go.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of
Oh my God. That is a tough that's a tough question for her to dance around. By the way, mods, I see a couple people on Rumble and maybe on YouTube. A couple people are asking for the link to the Piers Morgan episode. So you guys feel free to link that whenever.
immigration, because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a
which
number?
is-
Do you
but-
think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Bret, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your
And-
Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get.
The reason she's trying to force through that is she doesn't want him to talk about the real numbers. She's trying her best. And the problem is she has no authority because no one respects her. Donald Trump steamrolls anybody he's talking to because he's the alpha, because he commands every situation. She can't even command the situation with Bret fucking Baier of Fox News. But we're supposed to think that this woman is going to sit down with Vladimir Putin and tell him what to do. Get out of here.
Get to the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called
And-
the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the elite. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding,
But
please?
this,
you have to let me finish.
you had the
please.
White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and
in
they
the
didn't
middle
bring up.
of-
You have no authority. You have no respect. Trump has been doing interviews with reporters that literally hate his fucking guts. And he just deals with it, and then he steamrolls them right when the opportunity opens up. You can't be a world leader and go, may I please talk? No, you don't ask for permission to talk when you're trying to be a world leader. You talk when you want to talk. How many times have I shown this clip? This is a classic time to show the clip. Okay. So I'm going to do it. This is something I've shown many times here on this channel. So we'll show it again one more time. This is well, there's going to be two parts to it. So this is how a leader handles the situation. Okay. This is how a leader handles the situation. Powers through, okay? Trump just powering through, okay? And then this is how here we go.
Very, very direct with Secretary Stoltenberg and members of the alliance in saying that NATO members must finally contribute their fair share and meet their financial obligations. But 23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States. And many of these nations owe massive amounts of money from past years and not paying in those past years. Over the last 8 years, the United States spent more on defense than all other NATO countries combined. If all NATO members had spent just 2% of their GDP on defense last year, we would have had another $119 billion for our collective defense and for the financing of additional NATO reserves.
That is a leader, not Kamala sitting here begging Bret Baier to let her talk. Like, Bret, if you could just let me talk, if you could just, if you could just let me have a word, that would be great. No, that's not how that works. Sorry, Kamala, that's not how that works at all. But this was a bad day for her. This is a very, very bad day for her. Another thing that's been happening, and I'm not switching gears completely, but I just want to kind of show you guys like how crazy today has been for me. Asmongold, who is a massive streamer and a massive YouTuber, he got into some controversy and he pissed off the Palestine people or whatever. And so he made a video because he got canceled essentially and he got banned from Twitch. So he made a video. This is his response that was uploaded 6 hours ago. It already has over 1 million views. I commented on it right here. If you see my comment right there, well, actually, let me move my camera over a little bit. So I commented right there. If you see my comment, and I said, never apologize to the mob. And it's got 18,000 upvotes. I think it's the top comment on his video. And oh my goodness, these fucking weirdos are after me right now. Oh, they are after me. They are mad at me because of this comment. And they're essentially trying to say that I support all the shit he said. I have made my stance very clear on foreign affairs. I don't give a shit. I want Trump back in office because when Trump was in office, we had world peace. We had mean tweets and we had world peace. I don't give a shit about your conflicts over there. I'm not picking a side. It's not a sports team. I don't give a shit. I want Trump back in office. That's my stance right there. So the most annoying thing you can do to both sides of that equation is to not pick a side. And I don't follow that shit. And I'm not going to pretend because the government tells me that Israel is our ally. I'm not just going to pretend that I'm just supposed to say Israel's my ally. I don't know anything about that area of the fucking world, okay? I don't pay attention to that shit. What I do know is that when President Trump was in office, we didn't have to worry about conflicts because President Trump brought world peace. That's my stance on it right there. You're not going to force me to take a side on anything that, number one, that I'm not interested in, or number two, I don't have any knowledge on. I'm not here to pretend that I know shit about things I don't know anything about. I know a lot of YouTubers and content creators love to just pretend that they know something about everything, but I'm the type of guy, really simple, that if I don't know something about something, I'm just going to tell you I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that because I don't really give a shit. What I do care about is that Asmongold has built this brand of like not apologizing. And he apologized the second that these weirdos were crying about him. Now, on the flip side, he didn't apologize for attacking Christians when he attacked Melanie Mack. He didn't apologize for that. But now he's ready to go take a trip over to the Middle East and find out how bad things are. But he had no problem just disrespecting Christianity and Christians. He didn't worry about that because apparently that's okay. It's okay to disrespect Christians, but oh no, you can't disrespect other religions or other people. It's bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. And I just like calling out the hypocrisy of the situation. So I've got, because of this comment being the top comment on his video right now, I got all these Palestine weirdos coming after me. The bottom line is, I watched Asmongold's video. Asmongold is a terminally online individual. That is a fact. And he says in the video that because of this situation, that he's going to take an opportunity to kind of reassess his life. And I think that's a good decision for someone like Asmongold, who literally lives online 24/7. I don't live online 24/7. I'm online a lot. I absolutely am. I'm online a lot. That's my fake job. It's a fake job. It's not a real job, but it's a fake job. I'm online a lot. But I have a life outside of the internet, and I keep that life away from the internet. So that's why you don't hear me talking about family, personal life, and things like that, because there has to be, when you are a person that makes a living on the internet, you have to keep a portion of your life away from the internet, or you will lose your mind. And that's essentially what's happening to Asmongold right now. Is his entire life, his entire existence is the internet. He has nothing else in life but the internet. And you have to have something in mind in the real world, or you're going to fall into that trap. And so I watched this video, and listen, I might disagree with the fact that he bent the knee to the mob, but if he's taking this as an opportunity to get his life in order and get away from like living online 24/7, I think that's a good decision. It's kind of like the situation with like, remember back in the day, reality TV, and how these famous couples would build a reality television show around their marriage, and all of them got divorced. Like all of them got divorced. Why would you do that? Why would you bring strangers into your personal life? Makes no sense. It's so retarded. It's the craziest thing. So I see these content creators doing the same thing. We're like, I have to vlog my life. I have to tell you everything that happens. No, you don't, and you shouldn't. The internet's the internet, and the internet is awesome as long as you can separate your real life from the internet and understand that you can't intertwine those things completely, or you're going to end up like Asmongold, not bathing for months on at a time. So I just wanted to bring that up because I didn't realize that this comment was like got so much traction until weirdos on Twitter started to screenshot it and tag me. And now they're trying to rally the people that were going after Asmongold. They're trying to rally them to come after me now. The difference is I'm never going to apologize. So that's the difference. I'm not apologizing for saying never apologize to the mob. It's never happening. That's it. Your comment has been shadow banned. Really? Yeah, that comment is gone. Really? Wow. Well, I'm okay. So let me sign into another account then. Let me sign into another account and see if that comment shows up really quickly. Let me see. All right. Let me So no, everybody's telling me you can't find what? All right, let's see here. Let me sign into my D-Day Cobra Gaming account. And let's see, share tab. All right, so I'm signed into my D-Day Cobra Gaming account now. Well, I'll be damned. What? Come on, bro. That's bullshit. Wow. Yeah, I don't see it now. When I'm signed into the account that I made it on, it's there. Wow. All right, one more time. Let me switch accounts really quick. Let me go to the Geeks and Gamers account. Let me go to my Geeks and Gamers account. Sign into the Geeks and Gamers account. Yeah. They must have hid it. They must have hid my comment. Well, I'll be damned. That is so gay. Come on, man. All I said was don't apologize to the mob and you're going to delete my comment? Wow. That is weak. Hey. It is what it is. Well, here, let me sign into. There we go. And so at least you can still see it here. So there it is right there. 18,000 upvotes. And then it got, so I guess these are gone too. Some of these other higher ones maybe are gone. Oh, well, that's it. So, but they, the mob is really mad about my comment. They're really mad about my comment. So that means that comment probably would have had maybe 40 or 50,000 likes, but it's gone now. Nothing you can do about it. Is what it is. Okay. First of all, thank you for everyone that is here. I greatly appreciate it. I know we have a lot of super chats. I'm going to get to them. Let me get a couple of these that came in early. AJ for 50. Hey, Jeremy, I voted today for the first time in Ohio, and these ladies at the place told me to remove my MAGA hat because it was too political. If that's a law, that's stupid. What? You gotta be kidding me. That is insane. You should have recorded that shit, bro. Man, that is crazy. You should have recorded that. That is insane. Keep us posted, man. Keep us posted. It is a law, though? Really? Is that a law? That's crazy. Now, some people are saying it's not a law. So is it no hats in government buildings, though? But that's different than it being too political. So what's the law? No hats or no political stuff? You're telling me that you can't go to a fucking voting booth and with a MAGA shirt and vote for Trump? Let's see. No political apparel at a voting site. I find that to be bullshit because I guarantee you people wear their pride fucking bullshit. I guarantee you people wear their pride bullshit when they go. Like, that's the same thing as like when I go into a GameStop and I see some weirdo with pronouns and they got their gay flags all over their shirts. And I'm like, oh, but I bet if I was an employee wearing a MAGA hat or a MAGA button, you would tell me to remove that because I can't have any political divisive messaging. Same with like when I go to Target and I see some pronoun weirdo and they got pronouns on their name tag and they also have like their pride stickers. But I bet if you were wearing a MAGA sticker, they would label that as too political. That's insane. Well, AJ, I'm assuming you voted the right way, which is the MAGA way, because you had your MAGA hat on. You're a supporter of the channel, so I know you did. So vote Trump. That's all that really matters. Let me see. We've got Get Woke Go Broke says, fuck Obama and Kamala. This black man from Florida, Trump 2024. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's see. Elbin says, I'm in Florida too, and when I voted in 2022, they asked me to take off my Trump 2024 hat here. Just had it in my hand. I didn't wear a MAGA hat, but I wore a hat, and I don't remember them telling me to remove my hat. It wasn't a MAGA hat though. But I think I did have a MAGA shirt on when I voted. I think I had a shirt on. So what somebody should do, I want to see somebody wear a pride shirt. Certainly not me. And see if they tell you to remove your pride shirt. See if they consider that political. We know the answer. They're not going to. Kira for 50 says, LOL, just watch the whole thing. It's short and every moment is worth it. Oh, you're talking about the interview. Ryan can wear one of his. Hayden Wayne for 50 says, hello, police. Yeah, I need to report a murder. Yeah, white Fox News anchor Bret Baier. No, I didn't expect it either. Yes, the victim is a racially ambiguous woman. Yeah, I'm not sure the victim's name, but she was absolutely slaughtered. 100%, man. Holy shit. Crazy. This was a brutal destruction of Kamala Harris today. This is one of the greatest moments for all of us to witness this. It's crazy. Let's see. CG87343 says, I have issues with Bret Baier at times, but one thing, he is not a softball interviewer. She's the epitome of an IDOT. She knows she can never give an honest answer, even when confronted with her own words, so she deflects. Absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, we witnessed probably maybe the single worst day for Kamala Harris and the Democrats today. I mean, this was a bad day. And this is on top of the fact that we woke up this morning with the poly market numbers, which I think I have that on my profile here. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So we woke up this morning with this breaking. Trump has soared again this morning on poly market to a 20-point lead, another all-time high since Harris got into the race. I responded and I said, we're the Patriots. Stay focused. Remember, it's 28-3. We're the Patriots. It's the third quarter, moving into the fourth quarter. We're down 28-3, and we have to pretend that that's what's going on. That's the mindset right there. All of this was happening before the Kamala collapse. And the Kamala collapse was insane. Here we go.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, final, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things.
Wow. One more time.
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop.
Holy shit. Woo. And she wants to talk to Joe Rogan. Bro, spoiler alert, if you can't handle Bret Baier, you can't handle Joe Rogan. And we all knew she couldn't handle Joe Rogan anyway. But yeah, she is not going to be able to handle Joe Rogan. Will twist her up into a pretzel, and it will be a glorious thing to witness. That's, oh my goodness. I don't think she will go on with, what we will say is, if she does go on with Rogan, you truly know that that's the Hail Mary at that point. That's your Hail Mary moment. That's what that would be. Let's see the America account that Elon Musk is behind.
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. Being An undocumented immigrant is not a crime.
I know what a crime looks like. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal, and we have to correct course in this conversation. We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
The more she talks, the worse it gets. And today was the worst day for her by a mile. I mean, it's honestly not even close. Today was awful. Now, if you're just tuning in and you want to hear like some of the clips today, she had a real bad fucking day. Hang on. What is this? What is this? Let's see this one.
You know, when the kicker in football, they call a timeout right before he's going to kick the field goal. They're icing the kicker. So we were supposed to start at 5 p.m. This was the time they gave us. Originally, we were going to do 25 or 30 minutes. They came in and said, well, maybe 20. So it was already getting whittled down. And then the vice president showed up about 5:15. We were pushing the envelope to be able to turn it around for the top of the 6 o'clock. So that's how it started. And I could tell when we started talking that she was going to be tough to redirect without me trying to interrupt. I did this with President Obama. At one point, I just said, Mr. President, I know you like the filibuster. I just didn't even have the chance to sometimes redirect in those ways.
Wow. This is brutal. Now, again, while all this is going on, we get another announcement, okay? And this was just announced like I think this happened right in the middle of the Kamala interview. And I saw this and I will be covering this tomorrow. Here we go.
Okay, so I just finished a conversation with this gentleman here. You may recognize the one and only 45, soon to be 47.
And I think you'll like it.
Goes out Thursday, 9 a.m. See you there.
Woo! Trump on the Patrick Bet David podcast. Wow. That is wild. So again, you've got Trump going everywhere, talking to everybody, having conversations with everyone. And Kamala just made a fool of herself on Fox News. The poly market numbers are terrible for her. Let's see. What is this? Looking at that. Okay. All these clips. How long was the actual interview? And by the way, this is a new Trump ad that just dropped into swing states right here.
Flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
A flood.
And listen, I know we've got a lot of people watching, and I just want, for any of the new people, Kamala Harris likes to bring up Trump's age. And I don't know why she wants to bring up Trump's age, okay? Because it's really simple, okay? It's really simple.
I just feel like a young man. I'm so young. I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man. I look at Joe. I don't know about him. I don't know. Macho man,
yeah. Young, vibrant man. All right? He's the youngest. He's the youngest. This was a glorious moment right here
frankly exhausted of Bret.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam Vice
What a horrible answer.
percent of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the
I actually don't. Dude, Bret Baier wasn't even trying to be brutal to her. Jesus, this is so fucking horrible. We have to listen to this and we have to get this in context one more time. Let's listen to this from the beginning. I'm not going to pause it. We're going to listen to this all the way through to hear the utter destruction happening right before our very eyes.
frankly exhausted of Bret.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking
I
about.
actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen,
I wish he would not have interrupted her right there. Whatever she was about to say was going to be bad. I know what he was trying to do, but like I really wish he would not have said anything right there because that was going to be a massive gaffe probably.
is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, Frank.
So freaking amazing, man. This is just unbelievable. I can't believe what we witnessed today. It was the worst. Here, so where's it at right here? Anticipated interview. I want to see if I can. I don't know where I can find the full interview. I know a few people were wanting me to watch the full interview. I'm not sure where the full interview is because I don't see it anywhere right now. I've only got clips of it. I have YouTube TV, but I don't think I can rewind it on YouTube TV. Let's see here. We've got all right, so here's a 10-minute video.
For the time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Bret.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx.
Yeah, Benny was probably watching it on like YouTube TV or something like that because he was doing it live.
To illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want.
I've got it. I got it on Twitter right here. I got it on Twitter. So we're about to watch the whole thing now. 26 minutes. That way we can see just how horrible this was.
Vice President, thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Bret.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want.
So I want you to pay attention when she answers questions. She is giving herself time to process whatever word salad she needs. So she kind of starts spewing bullshit, and you can tell that she's actively trying to think of what bullshit she can say to weasel out of whatever the question is. She does it every fucking time.
To rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a
which
number?
is-
Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Bret, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point
is the point. He asked you a
that we
question.
have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your
And-
Homeland Security Secretary said that
Well, no,
85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get you the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called
And-
the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
You have to let me finish.
you had the
please.
White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and
in
they
the
didn't
middle
bring up
of
that bill.
responding to the point you're raising,
Okay.
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and
Hey, listen, I know it's bad to listen to this clown, but you have to understand this is the single worst thing that we have ever seen from her. We need to see how bad. We need to watch this because Bret Baier actually put the biggest beat down we have ever seen on Kamala Harris. And whether he was trying to do it or not, he's given the best assist to Donald Trump to date. This was a great gift. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is out there. Donald Trump's going to be cooking fries at a McDonald's. All right, Donald Trump's going to be cooking fries at a McDonald's this Sunday. He's going to be at Madison Square Garden. He's going to be at the Steelers game with Antonio Brown, which, by the way, really quick, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but look who follows me now on Twitter. That's right. Antonio Brown follows your boy, Jeremy Prime, D-Day Cobra now. So me and AB, we're like that, man. Me and AB are cool, all right? So, and he only follows 173 people. So, and I'm one of them. What the fuck is happening? I don't know.
put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
6 Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you.
but actually is focused on fixing
Six
it.
Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats. But
yes, I was also on Piers Morgan. It's been a wild day. I'm getting canceled by the people that were going after Asmongold. Trump is surging all across the country. Kamala is collapsing. AB is following me. And now Piers Morgan. I was on the Piers Morgan show. I don't know what the hell's going on.
more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So,
yeah, what do you think about that, Kamala? Bill Clinton said it. Bill Clinton might as well go ahead and put a MAGA hat on himself.
So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Bret,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So
I despise this woman with every bone in my body. She is such a she is a terrible human being. She does not care about anybody or anything. You were the border czar for 3.5 years and did nothing. You did nothing. You paid no attention to it until it was a photo op for your bullshit campaign. A campaign where nobody voted for you. Not one single fucking person voted for this clown. Nobody. Nobody voted for you. Nobody likes you. Nobody wanted you. You were picked because of a DEI hire. And now you have been elevated because of DEI. That's it. You're a useful idiot to far more smart and powerful people. That's all you are. Don't act like you care about people that have lost their lives, innocent Americans that have lost their lives due to your disastrous border. Don't do that now.
that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
To ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Bret.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungari's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I'm so sorry for her loss, sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you
Bret,
want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken
I muted my mic. Century Bro for a $100 MAGA red. It says nothing. And as Jay Hellstorm says, you didn't touch your face or boomer your mic during Piers, but I just did it here. I just did it here. Because that's why I was so nervous. Bro, I was so fucking nervous on the Piers Morgan show. I was like, wait, I have to be professional? Wait, I can't do this and pick my nose. Like I have to be professional. I have to be organized. I can't like do anything that I'm used to. There's other professional people here. You know, listen, I'm used to being on streams with like retards like Gary, retards like Ryan, a smart retard, but he's still a retard. This was a respectable show. I had to behave.
An immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down.
It is on the Piers Morgan Uncensored YouTube channel now. Mods can link you back to it. And I appreciate all you guys in the comment section of that video. I do love seeing like the support for the 199 and all of that. It's absolutely fantastic. And Willie freaking Will just dropped 50 gifted memberships. 50 gifted memberships. Holy crap. Thank you, Willie Will, the mad lad himself.
At the border, talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist, they will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Bret. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90 plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump order.
Breaking news: we have a moment right here that I can show you. I can't confirm if this is real or not, but I'm pretty sure this is a real image right here of Donald Trump reacting to the catastrophic Fox News interview right there. Yes. Trump just like, yep, this is good. This is good.
Policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support.
Bro, it's the reaction right now is so bad online. The Trump War Room just tweeted the full interview and says our newest ad just dropped. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Holy shit. Wow. This is brutal. This is brutal.
They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention.
What type of answer? Bro. Like, we need to put, like, somebody needs to meme this. Somebody needs to meme this where you're, like, literally asking someone, like, hey, you were smuggling drugs from Mexico. And then her answer is like, well, that was 5 years ago. And, you know, I'm committed to following the law now. Like, why are you answering? What? What a fucking horrific answer.
More resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that's going to get fixed, Bret.
Well,
that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question.
But
There were
that's how the
90
system
plus
works.
executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys—
You can fucking support them right now. You're the vice president, and you're working for a man that doesn't know his own fucking name. He doesn't even know how to use the restroom without help. You literally are right now, if we're looking at it objectively by what it's the way that it's the structure supposed to work out, you are the highest ranking government official right now that doesn't have dementia. And yet here you are saying, oh yeah, the border, they just want help.
Guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants
that was 5 years ago.
To
I'll
apply
follow
for
the law
driver's
now.
license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again. And as
that's what a criminal would say. That's like she's answering like it was a crime that she's like, that was 5 years ago. I'm going to follow the law now. Okay. Why do we need to bring things up that happened 5 years ago? What?
Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law.
Ooh.
So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after people who present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise. But if you—
the memes are glorious. Okay, the memes are glorious. So I'm looking through them. I'll share some good ones in the middle of continuing to watch this interview. But yeah, I'm just seeing some glorious reactions all over the internet right now, and I'm loving all of it, man. This is fantastic.
Few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery. For prisoners, every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy.
Okay, so we got some breaking news. So Team Harris has released a statement from Kamala directly after the Bret Baier interview. Team Harris, and this is Kamala Harris directly after the Bret Baier interview. You're seeing it here first on CobraCast. Top production value here. Here we go, Kamala Harris.
It was really tough. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a different ball game, but I had a blast. So thank you.
Okay, there we go. So comments from Kamala about the interview that she just had with Bret Baier. So we will continue on.
And no gender transition
Well,
surgeries
you know what? You got to
happened
take
during
responsible for what
his
happened in your
presidency.
administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in this presidency.
It's in
So
black and white.
would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassessment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I
you have a
think
say
Donald
in
Trump would
this.
say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think it's real. He spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
On
it was
plans for
different,
the
but let's-
American
we'll move
people,
on.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy. I am offering a plan that is about taking care of young parents.
Dude, nobody gives a damn about these policies. Again, let me remind you, this is a weirdo that has no idea what she's talking about, okay? She just repeats things over and over again. Remember this one?
And she mentioned thank you about 50 times. Did you see the beginning? Thank you, 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 thank you. I said, what the hell is wrong with her?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, please, thank you, please, thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. She has no idea what she's doing.
And giving them the support they need. My plans for the economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker,
Why do you
would
think more
ignite
people say-
inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as president of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also.
God, everything that she said, she repeats things or she says like obvious funny things in order to give her a little bit of a buffer so that she can start formulating the word salad every fucking time. She can't just answer a question. Like, you remember this right here? Do you remember this moment? Okay, this is how an alpha Chad, this is how a giga Chad handles the moment right here. Remember this?
So the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie, they
Sir,
spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify
It's been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign. They got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie. And you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
Okay.
100% confirmed. President Trump was right. That was verified. That was confirmed. That was the truth. And the mainstream media couldn't handle it. And he was accurate. They didn't want to report it because it would have made Biden look bad. That was confirmed. That's how a leader handles the situation right there.
So I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
No substance whatsoever. She says nothing of substance at all.
I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about the.
I've seen a few people commenting about the Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan was cool, man. His whole team was great. They were awesome to me, and I'm glad everybody. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I've never been more fucking stressed out before and after the fact, and it's mainly because I didn't know how the thing was going to go. But now that it's out and people don't think that I was a complete fuck up, I feel a lot better about it, but I was nervous as shit, man. And so, but I'm glad I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. And hopefully, they'll invite me back. They have had some discussions about some other topics that they would like to bring me back for. And so, yeah, it was a great experience. I just didn't know, like, how, it's a very professional show, and I'm not a very professional person. So I just wasn't, I was out of my comfort zone. So that's why I was so worked up over it. And, but I'm glad that I faked it to where people can't see how extremely nervous and uncomfortable I was during it, but I was very uncomfortable. But I'm glad I pulled it off.
Those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump.
Did she just say burdened? Did she just say it?
That has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam
That
Vice
is
President, more than
turning the page.
70% of people
That is
tell
about turning the
pollsters-
page on.
Listen, I got to give, I think a lot of us, me included, we kind of scoffed at the idea of Bret Baier actually doing this interview. He's doing a phenomenal job. And he's not letting her stray too far away. And as soon as she starts getting into word salad, he pretty much puts a stop to it. Credit where credit's due, man. He absolutely crushed it. He does not let her get away with anything in this interview. He's on point.
Rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Bret.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
This is the worst part. This is probably the worst part of the entire interview right here. All right. This is awful for her. This is awful for her.
Person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
That's the only thing. And I'm not criticizing Bret Baier over it. She had no idea what the fuck she was about to say. She was trying to figure it out in her head, okay? She was kind of like me on Piers Morgan, all right? I was like, what am I going to say here? Okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? All right, I'll figure it out. She had no idea what she was going to say. None. So let's back that up again. And he just slightly kind of interrupts her there. But again, he was doing a great job of reeling her in. I wish he wouldn't have interrupted that moment right there.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become.
power.
But listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president, one, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances and it being about him
Madam
instead
Vice
of
President,
the American people.
if
People
that's the
are
case,
tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
It's
if
not
it's
supposed
as,
to be.
What?
It is not supposed to be a
So
cakewalk
are they misguided, the
for anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within.
Donald Trump has never said anything negative, and he's always been 100% professional. He's never, ever done anything other than be a professional.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
Talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Bret, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
He's not talking about the American people. He's talking about you and Joe Biden and the Obamas and the deep state and the fact that you guys have weaponized the government against your political opponent, which you have done. Donald Trump has been indicted 4 times. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago against a former president. The man has been shot at multiple times. You don't give him Secret Service detail. That's what he's talking about, and you fucking know it.
He was asked about that
No,
specific...
that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
He didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after...
I wish, and again, I'm not going to criticize Bret Baier because there's only so much. I mean, there's always moments and opportunities that you're not going to get, even if you knock it out of the park, even if you've hit a home run or a grand slam. But there were moments where Donald Trump offered the military, offered the National Guard to Democratic governors during the Summer of Love. The key word is offered. He offered the support. The Democratic leadership declined that support because the Democratic leadership did not want to stop it. Donald Trump, as the commander-in-chief, had the authority to override them, but he chose not to do it. There are multiple times on record where Donald Trump has shown that he will not unnecessarily override his governors. He will allow them to govern their states however they see fit. Go fuck yourself, Kamala Harris.
People who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
So here's what's going on now in this moment. This is her people in her ear, and they're going, show more passion, show more passion. Unfortunately, she just looks like it's that time of the month.
And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump, you call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Bret.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judge.
I can't stop laughing at that, dude. That moment, like, we're going to see so many people doing like the Error 404 moment. Like, she just was completely deer in headlights. Absolute deer in headlights.
And the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but you talked about it.
And Donald Trump
after George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns.
She's so mad. You see that look? You see that look? That look was like, you're going on the Hillary Clinton list. That's the look she just gave him right there. Watch this look she gives him.
That we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years.
Oh, Bret Baier, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. What's her name in House of Cards? The reporter that Frank Underwood threw in front of the bus, Zoe. What was her name? Zoe something, the reporter. You're about to get Zoe Barnes, I think is her name. Zoe Barnes. Bret Baier's about to get Zoe Barnes. That's what's about to happen.
You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit.
Dinah says, I think your comment on Asmongold's video got deleted. Yes, I discovered that during this stream. I was showing everybody the comment, and the comment still shows up on my account, but when I'm signed into a different account, it's not there, and it's pretty much frozen at 18,000 likes. So yeah, my comment was removed. That's pretty weak, but hey, it is what it is. Go for it.
And dangerous, and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate.
Hey, Kamala, congratulations on the endorsement from warmonger Dick Cheney. Congratulations on that one. I'm sure you're real proud of that, aren't you? You want to talk about former vice presidents and their opinions? Let's just say that I'm glad that former Vice President Dick Cheney supports you. That's a plus for President Trump. Former Vice President Mike Pence supports you. That's a positive for Donald Trump. Former President of the United States George W. Bush, the warmonger, supports you. That's a positive for Donald Trump. Bill Clinton supports you. Positive for Trump. Hey, I'm glad Jimmy Carter really represents your typical Joe Biden supporter right now. So I'm glad Jimmy Carter supporting you. And all of that is a positive for President Trump.
So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the number one threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, and then several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel. I was there, most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself and to give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack.
It's like she's talking to children right now. She is thinking or listening in her ear, because there's you just listen to the way that she talks. It would be like this. You ask me a question and I'm like, well, that's a really good question, and I appreciate you taking the time to ask me that question. And if I was going to answer that question in a way that would serve the people of America so that they would know that I was giving them a proper answer, and that's buying the time for them to be feeding you the answers, or either you just trying to think of the answer and then you start slowly kind of going through it the way she's going through this answer.
Including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that
But those
is,
proxies were getting
and
funded
my
by Iran.
commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to
oil
Donald
profits.
Trump, who pulled.
What? Holy shit, man. Good Lord.
Who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put
But here are
Iran in check.
the estimates
and
in
then it was
billions
during Donald Trump's
that go
administration
towards the
that
Iran regime.
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches. Not to mention
Madam
how
Vice
Donald
President,
Trump has
all of this money
has treated
that
and
has
talked
gone
about
in the
America's
past few
military
years.
and military service people,
Critics
calling
say
them
that it goes to
suckers and
Hezbollah,
losers,
Hamas,
has diminished
and
the
Houthis. We're
significance.
talking over each other. I
Well,
apologize.
I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a
And there
decision
are
that
critics
they
who
feel.
look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more
there
to
are
say,
a lot of
actually.
things that people want to learn about you and your policies, and
Yes.
that's why we
I
invited
invite
you
everyone to go to kamalaharris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to.
In other words, you can't repeat anything that you stand for because you don't know what you stand for. Your team is just constantly updating what you supposedly stand for. So you just want them to go there and read it instead of you just laying it out right now because you don't even know what you believe in.
Anyone who would like to read them, and it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why
intend
we
to do to
invited you
strengthen our
here
economy,
to see where you were in 2019 and where you are
support
now.
America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vice President.
She was so mad. And I got this. And listen, I can't confirm if this is real or not. I'm just going to show you what we are getting right now here to the highly produced, very respectable Cobra Cast 199. High production value, great sources, great information. This is what we're hearing right now from former President Barack Obama and current most popular president in the history of our country, Joe Biden. And of course, Slick Willie is standing over there. I'm not sure if he's looking at Barack and Joe or if he sees a sugar somewhere over on the side that he's scoping out. But here we go.
So is Kamala doing okay?
Nope. She's down, Joe. I think they found out that she's retarded. And now we're basically fucked. Trump is killing us at the polls. So yes, we're going to lose Joe.
Damn it. Wait. What if I come back to run again?
As candidate?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. The only person in this world who is even more retarded than Kamala Harris is basically you. So no, Joe,
on, man.
you're
Just
not going
give it
back
another
yet.
shot.
Let's let it all play out. Okay. We'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
I didn't know the Bill Clinton part was going to happen like that.
Okay. We'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
Oh shit. And then look at Barack giving him the look like, Bill, chill out, dude. Oh man, that was glorious right there. So yeah, wow. What a bad day for Kamala Harris, for the Democrats, for pretty much anyone that's not MAGA. Today was a really bad day. And I showed this earlier, but this interview was so bad, the Trump War Room tweeted out the full interview and simply just said, our newest ad just dropped. That's how bad it was. And now you got to ask yourself the questions of like, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? Something desperate. They have to do something desperate to take the discussion off of this. And then we've got this right here. Elon Musk donates $75 million to pro-America group that supports 6 key values: secure borders, sensible spending, safe cities, and a fair justice system, free speech, and self-protection. If you're not voting for that, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. If you're not supporting that, again, Elon Musk is going to be in the Trump administration. I did not think I was going to be able to say that a year ago at this time. You wouldn't have convinced me that that was going to be a real thing. Now, I said, hey, I really hope that these two guys can work together because they're too powerful and they can form such an alliance. But I never in a million years imagined that Trump and Elon Musk would be working this closely together. It's really unbelievable. And Elon's all in at this point. He is all in. Whew. So yeah, man, crazy times indeed. And what is this? So that's a weird story. I just saw something about I guess some boy band member died, fell off a cliff or something. The One Direction singer. What? Something about the One Direction singer fell off a balcony or something. So let's see. Liam Payne. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, here, all right, people are going crazy though. Hang on, let me pull this back up then. What's his name? Liam Payne? Is that his name? Right here. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Where did it go? All right, let me look right here. So, former One Direction member Liam Payne has died at 31. Apparently, he fell off of a balcony, which is fucking crazy. I don't know if he was drinking. I have no idea. That is crazy. Anyway, I saw the drama alert. I saw drama alert tweeting it out. So let's see. Former One Direction member Liam Payne died at 31 after a fall from his hotel balcony in Argentina. Several witnesses at the hotel say Liam fell from his room on the 3rd floor. TMZ had pictures but chose not to show them. There's pictures of his. That's crazy. Police were called to an aggressive man who could be under the influence of drugs or alcohol before they arrived and found Payne dead. Another report claims. So there you go. So anyway, that's I just saw that on my news feed. So couldn't name a song from I only listen to real boy bands like NSYNC. Okay. I don't listen to soy boy bands like One Direction. I only listen to alpha male boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Okay. So only the Chad boy bands for me. All right. Only the Chads. So there you go. All right. Let me, chat's about to go fucking crazy over that comment. Chat's about to go crazy over that one. Also, for those that are tuning in now, I was on Piers Morgan right there. So this is the promo. I can't believe they started the video off with me. So let's talk about this really quick. I was invited to the Piers Morgan show to talk about Joker 2. I had not seen Joker 2 at the time that they wanted me to come on and talk about it. I had made videos on the reaction to Joker 2, but I, as a fan, just was not interested to see Joker 2 based on a lot of different factors. I loved the first movie. So I did go see Joker 2 prior to being on the Piers Morgan show. And I did not like the movie at all. I did not like it. And I took this very seriously because, yeah, I mean, I watched the first Joker movie again. I then watched Joker 2, and just so I could, have my ducks in a row and everything like that. Joker 2 is a really bad movie. It's a really bad movie. And so I, had a discussion with them about it. This was the promo they ran right here. I mean, ultimately, it just represents Hollywood in a nutshell. They hate their fans.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, who is an acclaimed actor, was effectively asked to make a souffle out of cow dung. It was so bad.
Fans and audiences want men to be men and women to be women.
Yeah.
And it's that.
I mean, the only people that know the truth are obviously the parents and the Menendez brothers.
So if you actually go over to the YouTube channel, right here, so if you actually go to Piers Morgan's YouTube channel, the comments are, you guys are like, again, you guys know I'm not a big fan of I don't like compliments, but the comment section actually makes me happy. I am here to see Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers represent the 199. This Geeks and Gamers dude seems like a cool guy. You should have him back on. Look at Crawler Carter. Look at that. Corporate Billionaire, our favorite gay man, the mage, the MAGA mage of the 199, straight from the Cobra pit, has finally arrived. I'm so proud of you, Jeremy. You answered every question. You look different. It's different camera. So, the reason I look different on there is because I was using my real camera and not this cheap webcam. So let me turn on my real camera for a minute and I'll show. But the problem is when I use StreamYards, my real camera doesn't work very well. Hang on. Let me see if I can switch to my real camera for a minute. Okay, see, that's the camera I was using when I was on Piers Morgan. So this is a real camera versus my fake camera. Like real jobs and fake jobs. So here's the fake camera versus the real camera. So that's why I look different on there. Let's go back to this. I did not turn the beauty filter on. I did not turn it on. Shout out to Jeremy and the 199. There's Jeremy and Base. She's great, by the way. She's been on with Gary and Drinker. She's a badass. All these comments are about me, which I appreciate. You guys are insane, so I appreciate this. I really do. Shout out to the 199. Love Geeks and Gamers. Hey, Jeremy, star of the vid. And there you go, representing the 199. Hail the 199. Jeremy Prime. Yeah, so Meme TV tweeted this out right here. He said, boy, D-Day Cobra, you got Piers to call you Jeremy Prime. I'm dead. 199, hail iDots. Hail Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers is the best. Hail the 199. Nice to see they got the #1 LGBT streamer, Jeremy Prime, on the show. So yeah, I really like good stuff, man. You guys are fucking great, and making me feel like $1 million. I was extremely fucking nervous. So let's play a little bit of this. I don't want to play the whole thing. You guys can obviously go over there and watch it. I was only on for the first segment. They did ask me if I knew anything about the Menendez Netflix documentary. I remember that story from back in the day. But I did not watch the documentary, so I really didn't have any knowledge on that. They did, kind of ask me if I'd seen it yet. And I was like, I haven't watched it. It's been recommended to me a lot. But this first segment right here, is this it? Right.
Be a movie, but the actual boat with his
So-
of YouTube network Geeks and Gamers, predict for Variety, Peter DeBruge.
So they did edit in. They fixed where Piers said, like, at first Piers messed up like Geeks and Gamers. So and that threw me off. And I was like, am I supposed to correct Piers fucking Morgan or not? And I didn't. So the problem was they had me move my camera up just a little bit because the top of my head was kind of barely cut off, and they didn't want that. So they want everybody's kind of head to be at the same height in the overall picture. But I keep my camera like this, and they wanted a little more space. But I was like, I was uncomfortable because I'm like, well, there's too much. I don't like how Benology does his camera, where all of this space is between the top of his head and the top of the camera. So I kept trying to set up higher because I was like, I don't want there to be that much space. And it was distracting. It had me so fucked up. And so I'm like, I'm overthinking everything. Okay. I'm overthinking everything at this point. But I knew that Piers was coming to me first. And I'm like, fuck. What am I going to say?
And the CEO of YouTube network Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy Primer. Welcome to all of you. Jeremy, let me start with you. For people who've not seen this sequel, but maybe surprised by what a failure it seems to have been, and it really has, in box office terms, been an absolute bust. What has gone wrong here, do you think?
I mean, ultimately, it just represents Hollywood in a nutshell. They hate their fans. They despise their fans. And if you watch this movie, it was a direct shot at all of the fans that supported the first film. And it wasn't just the fans that supported the first film. It was normies. It was regular people. It was elevated to the highest grossing rated R film of all time because of word of mouth, because you have to get normies involved at that point in time for a film to be that successful. So there is no one type of fan that represented the Joker in 2019 success, but in Hollywood's terms, they had to let those fans know, we don't like you and we're going to destroy everything that you loved. Now at the end there is when I started getting cotton mouth and I was like trying. I was like, I could barely, right? That last line, man, I was like, I was almost about to like have to call for something. I don't know if nobody's going to know this if I don't have the breakdown, but look, man, we're transparent here. Okay. You had to let those fans know, we don't like you and we're going to destroy everything that you loved. I was so scared. Oh man.
There was a review in the London Metro.
And then there's a line in here. Where did I say? I know I dropped the F-bomb. Where did I drop the F-bomb at? I don't know the timestamp of when I dropped the F-bomb.
It seems to be the big problem that people have with the joke. What the first good way to insert sick makers
for certain mental health issue, it was nothing.
Let's see.
Usually that
the first movie by
villains, even when he ends,
I don't think any.
I can't let it calling.
I would idea that this into.
You know what the big guy killer
men to be men and women to be right here,
folks, don't they? I mean. If you tamper with the franchise too much.
Now, this is where I'm starting to get in my rhythm. I'm getting in that rhythm now where I'm like, all right, I'm cool now. I know what's going on. I got the feel and the lay of the land. I know what's going on. I'm getting in my element now.
Nobody wants to watch this stuff.
Spoiler alert for Hollywood. Fans and audiences want men to be men and women to be women.
Yes.
And it's that simple. Get it back to the basics. That's the bottom line. And this is as simple as business. Now, before I was a low quality YouTuber, I worked in retail. When I worked in retail, yes. So you can tell that I'm in my element here because I get the low quality YouTuber comment and the retail comment. So right there, I'm rolling now. I'm like, all right, baby, we're in it now. I got it now. We're rolling. Do you know what we did when something sold? We ordered more of it because the audience was telling us, or the customer was telling us, we want more of this product. Well, am I supposed to go, well, I don't like your opinion, so I'm not going to order more of the Kraft macaroni and cheese? It's the dumbest thing ever. Give people what they want.
Yeah.
If people are going to your movie and giving you $1 billion for a rated R movie, a fucking rated R movie made $1 billion, the first one in history.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Hey, all of you fans. All right. So we got the F-bomb in there. We got the F-bomb, we got the retail story, and we got the taking a shot at that I'm a low quality YouTuber. I'm feeling good at this point, okay? I'm feeling real good. Go F yourself. We don't like you. We don't respect you. Now, to the argument of,
well, this is yeah. I mean, this is what happens when filmmakers are activists instead of actual filmmakers. This is what happens when people are not concerned about producing quality content and giving people what they want. Instead, they're wagging their fingers at you and telling you, "Oh, you're naughty for liking this film that we created. That makes you an incel. Therefore,
Yeti RC said this is why Alabama people are not allowed on TV."
We're going to create this awful film that people will walk out halfway through in rural parts of England, not diehard fans, just average people that thought, oh, let me go to the cinema today.
Dan says Jeremy got turtles on Piers Morgan. That's right. That's right. Now, she's awesome, and she's been on a few times with Gary and Drinker, and I'd love to have her on FNT at some point in time. But I don't know if or Geeks and Gamers, you know. But she's a bulldog when it comes to getting into conversations. Like, I knew when she was trying to get in there, I was like, I ain't even gonna get in her way. All right, she's gonna nudge her way through it, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try.
This is exactly what happens, and unfortunately, Hollywood is going to have to learn the hard lesson that if you decide to put out content that's more ideologically driven than about producing quality filmmaking, this is what happens.
But there's also, I think, Ernest, there's a kind of deceit at the heart of this, which is this. Take up the Rachel Zegler comments last week about Snow White, which she plays Snow White, and she's Latina herself. And she defended the fact that she should be playing Snow White, who in the original Grimm's fairy tale.
So there's a point in here where the Variety guy, the white dude, he's trying to like talk about like representation and people of color and how they've been, you know, pushed away and all this other bullshit. And he starts talking about like how he praised Disney. And I was trying, I don't know where it is exactly, but I was trying to get in and I was going to say, oh, you want to talk about people of color being pushed away? You want to talk about that? How about Disney taking John Boyega and shrinking him down on the Chinese poster? Is that the type of representation that you're looking for? But I didn't get a chance, and I didn't want to be too rude and barrel my way through it because, you know, you gotta respect the structure of the show. But I was really trying to get in there and say that, man. I wanted to so much. But, you know, I would encourage you guys to go over there and check it out in its entirety if you're interested. But I really do appreciate them having me on, and it was really cool, man. It was a cool opportunity. I don't know what planet we're living in where I'm on the Piers Morgan show. But I appreciate, you know, Gary and Drinker for representing us fellowship 199ers. And, you know, they obviously did a good job. So I got an opportunity to go over there. So we'll see what happens. I did. Did I want to bring up Nolan? Damn right. Actually, I did, though. Technically, I did bring up Nolan because I didn't get a chance to mention Titanfall 2, okay, but I did get a chance to mention The Dark Knight, all right? So I got that one in. All right, we're going to read some super chats. Thank you guys for being here. A lot of support so far. Yeah, I did get my Dark Knight reference in, though. So I got everything. I got most of the stuff in, most of it. Let's see. That's Fresh says, Asmongold giving that apology was pathetic. Glad you called him out. Well, I did call him out, but my comment apparently has been removed. I guess because it was the top comment, and he didn't want that to be the top comment. Gerald Armstrong says, Jeremy, well done on Piers' show as usual. I appreciate it. I have been a nervous fucking wreck over this show. Mainly just because, look, I'm used to being able to watch my stuff back, you know, not that I make very many mistakes when I record my regular videos. 95% of my videos that I make for Geeks and Gamers and for this channel and for other channels, 95% of them are just one cut. I start the video, I talk about it, and then I end the video, and then I snip the front and the end to put the intro, and I upload them. Very rarely do I make any mistakes that I need to edit out or jump cuts or anything like that. Or very rarely do I stop and start recording again. But at least I know what I'm putting on the internet after I've recorded it. This was a rare case where it wasn't an environment that I was necessarily familiar with. So I overthought it big time. And then after I did it, the producer who watches my content and is a fan of my channel and a fan of me, he messaged me. He says, dude, you were great, man. Great job. And I was like, you're just saying that, bro. Like, there's no way I was good. I was terrible. And he goes, no, dude, you were really fucking good. And I was like, I don't think I was good. But at the end of the day, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So Shadow Saiyan says, let's give it up for the CEO of Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy Prime. Jeremy Prime. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Eric Guidewall with 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Thank you, Eric, for the 10 gifted memberships. Magnum Norse says, I hope this woman goes on Joe Rogan for 3 hours. Don't we all? Don't we all? 8 o'clock says, how come she can never just say, we won't let illegals in anymore? It's always more border agents and stronger borders. Yeah, well, because she doesn't believe in that. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Gremlin for 10 says, and she wants to go on Rogan too. I honestly don't think she would. I think Rogan would have her twisted up in less than 10 minutes, man. It would be brutal. It really would. Samuel for 20 says Trump's team is on point. Interviews with Theo, Andrew, Patrick Bet-David, Nelk, Aiden. I think Joe Rogan is likely one of his October surprises and will endorse him too. Also, her and Hillary said we belong in camps. So there's that. Yeah, man, Trump's team is definitely on point. And I mean, a lot of credit that a lot of people are trying. They're trying to give Barron a lot of credit for this. And I'm not taking away from that. I hope that Barron is the driving force behind Trump getting on a lot of these more popular pop culture podcasts, things like that. That would be super cool. Duke Devil says, holy crap, that was exhausting. I got to imagine the DNC is thinking right now they should have nominated Hillary or Big Mike. Her staff was like Apollo's coach in Rocky. Throw in the damn towel. Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember when Joe Biden stepped down, remember my prediction was that it would be Hillary, because I said Kamala is just such a bad candidate that there's no way. There's absolutely no way. On Rumble, Unicycle Peon 450. Shout out to YouTube Caution. Oh, my guy, Jeremy. I'll just leave it at that. You did good on Piers. Thank you. And thank you for the YouTube warning. I appreciate it. Unicycle Peon for the 50 over on Rumble. We got JM the Elite Fan for 25 says that sucks that your comment got yeeted from Asmongold's video. If only there were an alternative site where they won't delete comments over such mundane as never apologize to the mom. Yeah, man, like it's not like I said I didn't endorse what he said. I didn't co-sign what he said. I didn't say anything about him. I made a general, vague statement about his decision to apologize. That's all I said. That is a weak thing to delete on a video. That's an extremely weak thing. JM the Elite Fan for another 25 says, also, I voted early today, or I voted early in Illinois today. I vote Jay as most hilarious streamer, Gary as boomer streamer of the year, Ryan as blackest streamer, and you as best streamer with a show named Cobra Cast. Thank you, JM the Elite Fan. I appreciate it, man. That's pretty good. Eric Guywall for 10 says Kamala Harris is the worst vice president we ever had. It's true. It's damn true. Duke Devil with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Duke Devil. 3 for 10 says President Kamala would govern like every power-hungry suburban lady, HOA box wine president I've ever met. Yeah, man, these HOA people are insane. They drive me fucking crazy, dude. They really do. I wanted to go ahead and give this one another shout out really quick. Century Bro dropped $100 and said nothing. Said absolutely nothing. MAGA red $100 super chat. Let's freaking go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Willie Will with those 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, Willie Will. All hail Willie Will. We appreciate you, man. Let's see. Felix for 50 says, hail Trump and the 199. Make sure you get Trump elected into office. Greetings from the good old Germany. We are working to get rid of green left parties. Well, thank you for the $50 super chat. Appreciate that. Love Dogs for 50 says from Babylon B, after Fox News interview, Kamala calls McDonald's to ask for her to ask if her old job is still available. I didn't see this one earlier, Love Dogs. I'm so sorry. That's holy shit. The Babylon Bee annoys me with like the guy that runs it, because he's like he's a DeSantis like shill and all of that, but their headlines are absolutely fantastic. So credit where credit is due for sure. Holy crap. Yeah, the memes have been pretty glorious so far. I've been enjoying that. We got Hayden Wayne for 20 says, I'm okay with Asman even rephrasing what he said. The weirdos don't differentiate between Hamas and the regular people. However, those people voted Hamas in. I don't care what happens to Hamas. Several weirdos are mad at me on X. Yeah, I mean, look, I on the internet, I would not have said what Asmongold said, because Asmongold has millions of followers. He's one of the biggest streamers. I would not have said what he said. What he said was very, it wasn't the smartest thing to say, because he's been on the internet long enough to know that that would have been used against him. Now, the problem here is the hypocrisy, because I have heard the same things being said about Israel or Christians or white people or Republicans. I've heard the same shit said from leftist streamers that Asmongold said about, Hamas or, Palestine, whatever he said. I can't remember exactly what he said. And so the hypocrisy is out of control. Now, the problem is he's friends with a lot of these people that say all that shit about groups of people apparently you can say it about. He's friends with a lot of them. And the one thing I got from his video is that he is surrounded by people that have been giving him a lot of shit for his opinions. A lot. I mean, it is crazy how, if you listen to his video, the people that he has that he knows in his little sphere are people that are just, I don't really like using the term mental abuse, but I mean, I'm not saying mental abuse doesn't happen. I think it gets overblown from people that are just looking to be a fake victim. But it does sound like the people that guy has in his life they are certainly, like, they're beating it into his head that he's a terrible person because he has different opinions than them. That's essentially what it comes down to. Who you surround yourself with is crucial. It's absolutely crucial. If you surround yourself with weak-minded people that are hypocritical and they think it's okay to demonize one group of people, but then another group of people are off limits, you're always going to run into problems, man. Always. And that's what it sounds like. He sounds like he has surrounded himself with a lot of leftist people. And listen, man, that's your prerogative. You can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. Buster Nut Smash for 25 says, first day of early voting here in Kansas today. Went down on my lunch break and voted for Trump. Get your asses out there and vote for Trump to end the woke bullshit and save the United States of America. Let's freaking go. Thank you, Buster Nut Smash. Hail to you. Hail to you. Samuel for 20. Kamala, I have a sneaking suspicion that if Trump wins, he's going to use this law to put anyone that doesn't look white in camps. But one of her party leaders said it would be formally deprogrammed, and then she projects. That's all it is, man. Projection all day long. And the bottom line is normies are gonna see this for what it is now. This interview is going to be expose a lot of normies to her bullshit. Samuel for 10 says, Hillary Clinton quote from Forbes, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members in reference to Trump supporters. Yep, absolutely. Pixel Shark says, in the U.S. Navy, it's the U.S. Navy's birthday. Can we get a hail for our sailors, sir? Absolutely. Hail to all the sailors. Thank you, Pixel Shark. And again, I meant to highlight your comment and I just unstarted on accident. I love your profile picture. Let me see here. Doug B. What up, Dougie B? $10 says, it would be hilarious if her Bluetooth earrings interfered with the mics. Then all of a sudden we hear Obama's voice answer the questions. I bet there's a meme going around about that. If there isn't one, I guarantee you the Dilly meme team is probably working on it right now. I guarantee it. So let's see here. What is this? I see, like, there are all right, hang on, I got to hear this. So I just saw this on my timeline. CNN's Brian Stelter says Fox News viewers are going to think Kamala Harris was super tough and strong after her interview with Bret Baier. What?
I think this strategy from Harris was a Google strategy. She wanted Fox viewers to start to Google some of the things she was saying, because some of the comments she was making in this interview are foreign to the Fox audience. For example, General Mark Milley saying Trump is a fascist to the core. That's barely been covered on Fox News. So she was able to get some of those talking points in. This was the most adversarial interview Kamala Harris has probably ever done. Instead of getting to debate Trump again, she got to debate Bret Baier. And a lot of viewers are going to come away saying, wow, she's willing to do that. That's a sign of toughness and strength.
On Friday, I was about to go get dinner for my kids when Donald Trump Jr. attacked me in his speech at CPAC. Something about me looking like a gender-neutral potato head.
Bro, the amount of cope is unbelievable. Are you kidding me? That's the spin you're trying to put on this? That's the spin? My goodness. Black Kane says, I'm glad you finally let Benny Johnson out of your pool house. I hear you were making him wear Crocs and eat tuna helper while you made him watch the 2018 NCAA championship and talk about forklifts. Hail Benny Johnson. Eric Heffelfinger pretends says Jeremy won't talk about his wife because it's his sister and it's embarrassing for her. Troy News says people who are quick to take sides on the Palestine and Israel, I bet have no clue about the top 3 issues in the most recent town hall. It doesn't earn enough internet points. Yeah, man. Like, I know that's like a huge topic that probably would get me a lot of attention one way or the other. I don't care. Elsid Barrett says, Jeremy, I could see your comment on Asmongold's video 17,000 hours ago, at 17,000 likes hours ago, but it has been hidden for the last 3 hours. Yeah, I just thought that it was like people just weren't seeing it, but now it's pretty much obvious that that comment has been deleted. I mean, again, I can see it. Let me go back to my history. I don't know if that's how it works on like when I rarely comment on YouTube videos. But I guess that you can still see your comment even if somebody's deleted it. Let me see. Yeah, it's still at 18,000. And it's got 2 less comments than before. So here we go. So there's my comment 8 hours ago. So all the replies are from hours ago. Yeah, all these are from 8 hours ago. It looks like there's so many replies though. There's no need for me to go through all of that, but yeah, man, I guess it does look like it was deleted. So that's his prerogative, man. It's his prerogative. So Kyle for 20 says, still worried that the Dems are going to cheat more. There's a lot of scary factors, or even how the commies will try to invoke martial law if Trump wins. Scary time. Stay safe. Anime Nerds for Trump 2024 MAGA. This is a point, like this is where the point comes in that you're 100% right. And this is why it needs to be a landslide. It needs to be too big to rig. Too big to rig. It has to be an overwhelming number that's put out there. And, I mentioned it earlier, but when you got, let's see, my new friend, Antonio Brown, who's going out and where's it at? So AB is going to be in Pittsburgh getting people registered to vote. Look at this guy, man. AB is on it. So Antonio Brown is all in.
Yeah. Yo, Pennsylvania. I'm here to encourage you guys to order your ballots early. That's right. All Trump supporters, I need you to order your ballot early and come vote. That's right. We'll be at the stadium this Sunday taking live votes at the tailgate. Let's go. PA, It's going to be a tight election. We need you guys, all Trump supporters. Let's not wait till the end. Let's get our votes in early. You did. That's it. Live.
AB is killing it, man. AB is killing it. He even showed respect for Tom Brady. So, yeah, man. That's good stuff. So he's been on it. And he's been on the Trump train for a while now. But he's really taken it to the next level recently. And again, being a former Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, Pennsylvania is a crucial state. Having him involved is huge. Let me see. Magnum Norris says Jeremy wears Crocs to the funeral. Can't get blood on them Dookie shoes. I was wearing Crocs while I was live on Piers Morgan. That is true. I was wearing Crocs while I was live on Piers Morgan. Kira for 10. There's a part where she says, you know what I'm talking about. And he says, no, I actually don't. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Ministry of Wrong Thing says Asman has clarified that in the past he is willing to apologize if he feels he is wrong, i.e., like when he apologized for saying being a streamer is hard a job. It was never a zero tolerance policy. No, I get that, but do you think Asmongold is apologizing today if the mob doesn't come after him, or apologizing yesterday? Do you think that? I mean, you remember the things he said about Melanie Mack, right? You remember that. He didn't apologize for the stuff he said about Melanie Mack and her Christianity, because it's not a real apology. It's an apology based on the mob coming after him. That's really what it comes down to. In my humble opinion, and again, my opinion actually means more today because I was on the Piers Morgan show. That's how the internet works. So my opinion now is more valuable today than it was yesterday, because I am a very, very respectable YouTuber today. I wasn't 2 days ago, but I am today. My word means more now. What up, Gary? Hail, good to see Jeremy wasn't the only homosexual man on Piers. What up, Gary? Oh, man. I was worried I fucked it up for all of us, Gary. I was worried. I was like, man, I'm going to be so bad. I'm going to be so bad. Not only are they not going to invite me back, they're basically going to treat me like all these weirdos that hate Ripa treat Ripa, where it's like, if you have any relationship or friendship with Ripa in any way, we're going to hate you too. So I felt like that's what's going to happen on Piers Morgan. They're like, Jeremy was so bad. If you know this guy, we're not going to have you back on our show too. Like, it's going to be guilt by association. That's how I was like, I can't screw this up. I can't get Drinker and Gary kicked off because I'm so bad. 8 o'clock says, yes, the abortion candidate going for a Hail Mary. Yep, every time. Jeff Hill says Kamala Harris, she wasn't doing well in the polls. Anyway, after this interview, my God, I would like to see where the polls go now. Trump 2024. Let's go. Andrew CR says that you've been in office for 4 years, but Trump bad. Ha 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 ha. For fuck's sakes, these people. Every time. Thomas for 10 says, Antonio Brown, if you're watching, holler at your boy, Jeremy Prime. That's right. Locke says, if this wasn't mentioned, JD Vance just tweeted to my Democratic friends, maybe you should consider swapping Kamala Harris for Joe Biden. No, he didn't. Did he really? Oh, my God. Hang on. Let's see. JD Vance. Oh, no, he did. To my Democratic friends, maybe you should consider swapping Kamala Harris for Joe Biden. Yes. We are so back. We are so back. Hey, listen, I don't like threatening my audience, okay? I don't like threatening my audience because I don't think it's nice. But situation is this serious. Serious times call for serious measures, okay? So, if you guys don't get out there and vote, I'm going to put a 1-hour loop as the intro for CobraCast, and it's going to be this right here. If you don't get out and vote, this will be the 1-hour intro loop for CobraCast if you don't go vote.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Oh, 1-hour loop if you don't get out and vote. 1-hour loop. Desperate times call for desperate measures, okay? Dan Bass said, I would rather watch BVS. You know, I think I'd have to agree with you on that one, Dan. I'd probably rather watch BVS than listen to that. I would have to agree. I would rather watch BVS than that. So, and really what it comes down to is here's what I'm going to have to do to you guys if you don't go vote. And it's showing that clip.
I'm going to teach you the meaning of pain. I'm going to teach you the meaning of humiliation. I'm going to teach you the meaning of defeat.
Just remember, that's what's going to happen. Okay? So let's go out and vote. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. Go out and vote. Humiliation. Let's see. All right, thank you, Locke, because I did not know JD had tweeted that out. The dude says, F this ghoul. She is absolutely heartless and couldn't care less about those young lives being tragically ended. She couldn't even stop bashing Trump long enough to pretend she cared even a little. Absolutely. Dan Ryman says, just finished my voter registration so I can vote for Trump here in Wisconsin, Trump 2024. You see, Dan doesn't want Pokemon to go to the poll. He don't want that to play. No one with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, no one, for the 5 gifted memberships. The Mad Capper says, hey, guys, a long-time 199er. I recently got 3rd-degree burns all over my hands in an apartment fire. I'm going to be out of work for a while, displaced, and need help. More info, I have a link. Love you. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know how. I would like to know how that happened, but that's horrible to hear, man. So be safe. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. That would be the first thing. So you got a job, so I'm assuming they have insurance. That's horrible, though, man. Martha Clark says, let's see. May the force be with you. Thanks for supporting our great president and Star Wars and gaming. MAGA Chad Trump is king troll, and I love it. Thank you, Martha Clark, for the super chat. Buster Nut Smash says, I saw the unedited version. Piers called Jeremy a fig. Carrie Malone says, just watch your Piers Morgan segment. You brought class to the panel by having Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the background. And Esther on FNT win. I would love it. I mean, I think Gary might have talked to her about that for some point. It would be great. Andrew CR says, I bet she's going back to McDonald's to sell salads. Word salad at that. Thomas for 20, 3rd dono tonight. I know you don't drink, Jeremy, but drunk donos are the best donos of all donos. I was having a cigar and a beer and was unburdened by what has been unburdened by the passage of your fired Kamala. That is true. I do not drink. I've never drank, never will drink, but I encourage drunk super chats as long as you can afford it. I encourage drunk super chats as long as you can afford it. Flag Ninja, gay. That is all for $10. Thank you, Flag Ninja. Grego says, when you said you dropped an F-bomb, I thought you called someone a fig on Piers' show. That was great, actually. I hope you appear on his show again. But you're still a gay croc wearing fig on YouTube. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was definitely the word fuck, not the other one. Pixel Shark says, voting early tomorrow, voting MAGA. Let's go. Love the profile picture. All right. I'm going, let's see. Did I miss that one from SJ Nix? I did. I'm sorry. $20. In California, Delaware, Kansas, Montana, New Jersey, New York, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Vermont, it's a misdemeanor to wear clothing promoting a candidate. It's called electioneering. What about in Florida? Because somebody said that happened to them in Florida. It's never happened to me in Florida, but now I've only voted twice, and that was for Trump. That's the only two times that I've voted for president, was in 2016 and 2020. I'm pretty sure I had a MAGA shirt on. I know I didn't have a MAGA hat. I feel like I had a MAGA shirt on. But maybe I'd have to think about it. Let's see. Zihoni says, have you seen what Thomas Massey posted? I have not. Exactly, says LFG. William says, maybe it's 2018 or 28-9. That's when I left the bar that night. I listened to the rest of the game in the car because I didn't want to screw up the comeback. I respect that. Let's see here. Thomas says, Bret cooked her so hard, the Haitians taking lessons. Chris Coran says, the fat lady is starting to sing she's toast. Let's see. I don't know how to say that. Decrepit. She's cooked. Mayotti says she is like an angry Karen. She has the eatings again. Celluloid Dream says, you're late. Gohan Creates says, Kamala's element is being on her knees saying, I've had bigger. Tactical Dish Soap says, she's been put in so many positions in her life that this is the first position no one likes her in. Ayo. There's Martha Clark with a new member. Thank you. Alan Tanassi, I'm not misogynist for not voting for her. I just think she needs to have more time in the kitchen. Reed Richards, Stretchable Wong says, Kamala called me after the interview for a booty call. Jimmy Rings Halo says, Enemy Within says she's about the bill that gives our military authorization to use lethal force against U.S. citizen. Shy Guy says, if this is how she performs 30 minutes under pressure, imagine 3 hours with Rogan. He'd probably end the show early. Gerald Armstrong says, Bret Baier was like Ivan Drago and Kamala was like Apollo Creed. Throw in the damn towel. Slick Gossip says, just saw you on Piers Morgan's segment and you absolutely smashed it. So proud of you, my 199 Fig. Thank you. Magnum Norris says, this woman is toast. Slain Hope says, Kamala Harris, you have to take responsibility for what happened during your administration. This message is brought to you by the Trump 2024 campaign. Jim says, she's so fake every time I see her. Big Maga Bowl says, ask Kamala about the 400,000 missing children. Mountain Mutt says, 3 weeks ago, Biden signed an authorization for the U.S. military to take lethal force against American citizens in the homeland during political unrest. Pixel Shark says, are those the same earrings? LOL. Brockatron says, I love how when Trump says the enemy within, she instantly assumes it means the American people and not corrupt. That shows what she thinks of you. 1,000%. Let's see. Daniel's Corner says, D-Dead Cobra and everyone, if you use the PCF comment finder, you will find Jeremy's comment on Asmongold's video. What is it? Oh, YCF comment finder. Does it like, how many likes does the comment have under that program right there? I'd be curious. Ricochet says, eat me YouTube. Slain Hope says, so why did Biden sign an executive board order? Grover Pearson says, she called Bret a serious journalist. That comment solidified this interview. When Democrats try to spin it, she gave him credibility. Hail the Lord says, it's important to stay voting and pushing until Trump is president and even after. But it feels like the establishment has given up on Kamala. Keenan says, of all the names he had on Better Call Saul, which name do you like the best? Jimmy, McGill, Saul Goodman, or Gene? Saul. Easily Saul. Because that's what I know him as. Like, I'll never forget when I saw Saul Goodman for the first time in Breaking Bad, and I'm like, that's the best casting I've ever seen. I couldn't believe how good the casting was, because I'm like, I have never seen a more, like, authentic, shady lawyer in my life. Like, he just was so good. And so getting to know him as Jimmy McGill and everything like that, but Saul Goodman that's who he is, man. He's Saul effing Goodman. I kind of want to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul again. Dragon Dad says you didn't seem as nervous as you thought, or I thought, or let's see. You didn't seem as nervous as you thought on Piers. Morgan, I like how you were able to slip in a jab at TLJ at the end. The retail bit was good too. Yeah, I tried to get a few things in there. Daniel says she comes across as a massive jerk. Wow. Zan says the deep state had planned to get Kamala with the pipe device on Jan 6, but she changed her route and didn't go by it. Didn't talk to him for a year. Troy New says Bret skillfully led Kamala into questioning Biden's cognitive decline, and her inner Admiral Akbar screamed, "It's a trap." Cameron Couch says, "Hey, Jeremy, first super big fan. I'm a bit of a tard. Let's see. What is this border security that was nuked by Trump and all the libs keep bringing up? It's an excuse. That's all it is. It's just like when she brings up Project 2025. It's a I'm not going to say who it is. But a fairly prominent YouTuber. All right. A fairly prominent YouTuber messages me yesterday. And we're cool. Doesn't agree with me, okay? Doesn't agree with me, is a Harris supporter, okay? And so it messages me all of the accusations of Trump. Why is Trump not debating Kamala? Is he scared of Kamala? All of this bullshit. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time. Like, if you want to jump on a Discord call, we can jump on a Discord call. But like, I can't answer like each one of these points in a text message. You know what I mean? But I'm like, you're clearly just falling for the reason that those talking points get put out there is so the people that don't like Trump or question Trump are going to believe that now, if you're sitting here saying that Donald Trump has the power to control the Republican Party, even though he's not in any office whatsoever, that's nothing but a compliment to Donald Trump. That's all it is. It was Jay. Yeah, so she repeats that. She repeats the Project 2025, the both sides, good people on both sides, and it's all meant to like make people think that there's something going on. The bill had so much fluff in it. Ultimately, is why it was rejected. She's trying to act like the bill was rejected based on the border alone. The bill had all of these bills. Have all of this fluff and these hidden things in there, hidden money going to different places. And it's all because they're trying to sneak that in with the overarching headline of like, oh, well, this is for border security, but we have to put, this $100 million in for Ukraine or this $100 million in for this. Like, it's all bullshit. That's ultimately what it comes down to. But she's trying to act like the bill was rejected based on the fact that it was a border secure bill, and it was never rejected for that reason. But that's why they do it that way. Archer Blade says, Kamala crawling in my skin. Duke Devil 95 says she is literally a pre-programmed robot. Says talking points, but when a question diverts from talking points, you can see her trying to reboot. Gunner says Kamala is collapsing, but we still need to vote. Too many people are talking like it's over. Betting odds and polls don't mean anything. Vote. I agree completely. Let's see. Star Trekker says, I have a problem with someone trying to pass themselves off as African-American when I hear she's not. Has anyone in the mainstream media fact-checked her heritage? No, and they're not going to. Margaret says, heartbroken. Family has turned against me for voting Republican, but they couldn't defend her lack of substance and air-only rhetoric. I'm sorry to hear that, but the snake pits here got your back. Let's see. Recep the Cripple says, hello, Jeremy Prime, CEO of YouTube Network, Geeks and Gamers. Christian Rocker says, Trump doing all these interviews forced Kamala into thinking she needed to do this interview. Epic backfire. Jim Eagle says, I'm guessing Rogan is out for her after this one. I think I literally saw her handlers throw in the towel like in right. Yeah, 100%. Matt Grizzly says, cackling Kamala is a dope by Felicia MAGA 2024. God bless Trump. Maximus BT says, where my breeds at? Gen X Cynic says, when Trump steamrolls a hostile host, he comes off as a boss. When Kamala does this, she comes off as an unhinged Karen. It's true. Slain Hope says, Asman knows what you can and can't say on stream. He walked up to the ban landmine and jumped on it repeatedly. This was premeditated. He's not stupid. I don't know, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he go on Asman Gold's stream after? I'm sorry, didn't he go on Hassan's stream after and continue to double and triple down on the comments before ultimately back down? Didn't that happen? Let's see. August K says the comment is gone, meaning my comment. Ministry of Wrong Things says, to be frank, it's quite literally safer to hate Christians online. I've never seen someone lose their life for posting a normal picture of Jesus. 8 o'clock says, that's okay, Jeremy. We know you have to protect your husband from the internet. Anthony Rodriguez says, everyone should go on and comment. Never apologize to the mob. F YouTube. Never apologize to the... you know what? I'm just going to take a screenshot of that and make that my background picture now. Since I can still pull it up, I think I can. Can I pull that comment up? There we go. Okay. So I can still... I'll just make that my profile picture. Or my background picture on Twitter, if I can. Let's see if it'll let me. Since apparently that offends everybody to put that, so choose existing photo. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Let's see if it updates. There we go. Boom. So that's my background right there. So since Asmongold wants to delete my comment, we'll just we'll let it live forever right there. So there we go. Where are we at? Maybe I should move it up a little bit. Let me move it up a little bit if I can. Will it let me? Let's see. Let's see if that's better. There we go. That's better. That's more centered. So there you go. All right. So where are we at? Mr. Bentham says, a reminder, Pokemon go to the polls. Also, Jeremy's gay. Johnny the Whiz Kid says, I recorded myself voting in 2022 and they told me I can't wear my F Biden t-shirt. That is how a law in Texas has. It's definitely dumb. Sir Link, I will say, like, I guess that's it does probably like create like less tension. So I can at least understand that. Sir Link says Georgia County judge rules that ballots must be certified even if suspected fraud is found and must be dealt in courts after the fact. Fixes in. Dermy Wormy says you aren't allowed to have a political apparel at a voting place because it could be considered intimidating voters. Let's see. Kalios says it's a law. No campaigning within X feet of a polling place, even as a thing in Massachusetts, been a thing for over 20 years. Phelan says it's considered electioneering to have gear on for a candidate at a ballot. You can't do that. Cole Hauser says, yo, Jeremy, here in Canada, it's wearing blue pants. Was told to leave. Blue is conservative here. I was told it was too political and had to change. What? God, holy shit. NFL says, Jeremy, tell Johnny he is the let's see, what is it? I don't even know what you're saying here. Something gamer, migraine of gamer, and could beat him in Smash with my GameCube controller. You're a nice straight man. Keep up the grind. Jesus. Big Wig Cthulhu says you aren't supposed to wear colors at polling places because it can form voter intimidation. Dates back to when blacks got the right to vote. Sir Link says in Arizona court rules that citizenship proof not required for federal elections, only state. It's the honor system. We still have to try. Go vote. Ghost Crusaders TV says someone called BLM because I just witnessed a hate crime live on Fox News. Eric K says Rogan will be like the rest, all questions edited heavy. We all know why. Sir Link says Rogan would definitely softball her. He lacks a spine. Munchie Ninja says been trying to type that you got a certain Iranian immigrant millionaire social media page, but YouTube won't let me. Eric K says 1 hour still live, 1 hour live, still no notification from YouTube. Meme TV becomes a new member. What's up, Meme TV? Beardo's Wiener Emporium says 10 a.m. Friday morning, Trump Bongino will you cover it? I'm certainly going to cover the Patrick Bet David thing tomorrow morning. So we'll see how the other ones go. Mr. Bentham says she keeps talking about one immigration bill that would have solved everything. Why give up after just one? It's frustrating as he'll listen to her. Pixel Shark says that's what happens when someone actually goes after her record. She had so many softballs, she can't handle it. Sam Uri says, I was looking for this stream, nowhere to be found. Udite says Trump reposted her immigration clip on his YouTube. LOL. Cole Hauser says she needs to be. I'm not saying that one. Get me in trouble. The Exalted Patriarch says I have no faith in Bret doing this interview. I had no faith in Bret doing this interview. I owe him an apology. He showed her the repercussions of her I'm speaking bullshit. Yes, he did. Ram Tax says, Jeremy, you did great on Pierce. Get that lady on Geeks and Gamers. Dan says, are you hearing Bluetooth speakers from Nova? I don't know if she had Bluetooth speakers or not. I wouldn't put it against her. Cattle Dog says, AB on Cobra Cast win. We'll see. Warbear says you still need to officially come out of the closet. Jay Hellstorm says you didn't touch your face or boomer your mic during Piers. Kyle says Kamala is the Jar Jar Binks. I've always been a Star Wars prequel defenders, and nobody learned anything from those films. Trump 2024. Nandy says before Piers, Jer took the good stuff. Now he's on the gay shit. Classic Vigil says I saw you on Uncensored dropping an F-bomb. Fucking legend. Madney says challenge any Harris supporter to explain why they're voting for her without mentioning Donald Trump. Not even Kamala can do that. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, I grew up in a middle-class McDonald's 5 years ago. Fantastic Person Knox says, what's with the way Kamala is talking right now? It's weird. It always is, to be fair. Biker Angelo says, she's been as clear as Jeremy's heterosexuality. Eric K says, she is the only candidate who kept an innocent man she knew was innocent on death row for political clout. California had to pay, I think, $13 million to him. McCock says, B. Jeremy, suck PP a couple of times, but that was 5 years ago, and I was following the law. Slain Hope says Kamala persecuted the cartels, so she knows more than anyone about that crime suffering that caused by illegals. That's why she opened the border. Sean Awesome says, under Trump, we could afford things without special policy handouts. She's a damn joke. Well, that's what they want, though. The special policy handouts, They want people to be reliant upon the government. It's why they want people to embrace mental illness. It's why they want people to, be reliant upon the government because they want them to need those government handouts. So the psychology in place is that they've basically brainwashed a bunch of mentally weak people to be reliant upon them. And then on the flip side, they've made Donald Trump to be the boogeyman because they've made those mentally weak people go, if Donald Trump's in office, he's not going to give you handouts. He's going to make you work for a living. He's going to make you work for everything. We're going to hand you everything you need because we're the government and we love you. That is exactly how the game goes. That's it. Let's see here. Nick Brown says, officer, what were you doing with that baby oil at your freak offs? Diddy, that was 5 years ago, and I will follow the law. Let's see. Eric K says, Jeremy, she is delaying because she's wearing that Bluetooth earring. Dean H says, thank you. Mellow Cat says, our new member, thank you. So Shutch says, crackers love AB. AB loves crackers united. Thoughts on narrow boating with Nigel. Jeremy, you underrate yourself. We're typically critical of ourselves, particularly in these weird and wonderful times. You're doing a great job. I am very critical of myself because I don't think I'm very good at what I do. I'm glad a lot of people disagree with me, but I think I'm fucking retarded. T-Funk says that Kamala got the BBBBB burdened by Bret Baier. Irpa says, but look what he's doing, not me, Harris. Black Kane says, Bret slapped her around so bad she almost called him Doug. Slano says, was that you with the smoke alarm chirp at 1822? Where? Like on Piers? No. I don't, I if that's what you're talking about. Jake Stanley says the comments on your peers video are glorious 199. I bet they've gotten even crazier. Let's take a look and see what it's. Hang on. Let's see what they're looking like now. All right. So, well, let's there we go. Repping the 199. Okay, let's just do sort by newest first. Way to go, Jeremy. Viper Chief didn't even mention me. Okay, he did do the 199. Okay. My bad, Viper Chief. You know what? I made a mistake. I'm dropping gifties in the chat as my punishment. I called Viper Chief out too soon. He did drop the 199. Okay. I'm dropping some gifties. That's my punishment. Here we go. Okay. Dropping some gifties. Here we go. All right, there's my apology right there. Okay, sorry. My bad, Viper Chief, okay? All right, there we go. 10 gifted memberships from Viper Chief. Thank you, Viper Chief, for the 10 gifted memberships. Laughing Man calling me out, says Jeremy never reads my super chats. Laughing Man. Are we going for 4 in a row? It's fine if we don't get 4 in a row. I'm just asking. It's just a question. But yeah, so a lot of people are talking. Look at there. There's Bruce, Carmine, JR, Cowboy Ninja, Fourth Observer, Cappy Nova. Man, all these people showing some love. 199 moving up. Geeks and Gamers 199. Cobra Pit. We got Jeremy Prime dropping F-bombs on Piers Morgan before GTA 6. Represent. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so all right. Thank you guys. The comment section is pretty glorious on this video, so I do appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see. Virtuous Right says, let us be clear, Kamala, you are a super liar. 100%. Black Tiger says, Kamala slings more crap than a dung beetle. Lady Red becomes a new member. Thank you. Grand Potato says, Jeremy walks into the bathhouse. These men are looking fine up in here. Warbear says, he ended up going one direction, straight down. Damn. Ministry of Wrong Things says, one direction, down. Grand Potato says, Liam definitely went one direction. Holy shit. Slaying Hope says, news feed. Is that what the kids are calling it? Yeah, I guess so. Black Tailgate says, I don't really think of NSYNC as a boy band, more of like Justin Timberlake with backup singers. That's a pretty accurate description, to be fair. Andre CR says, Esther for FNT, let's go. Firefox says, Jeremy, are you at Young Ripa's chirp? Yeah, like I guess it was a fire alarm, but I didn't. I mean, a smoke detector. I didn't hear it. I was too busy being nervous as shit. Mountain Mutt says, you could stop being a homosexual for 5 minutes on Piers, or you couldn't stop being a homosexual for 5 minutes on Piers. Man, you've been hanging with Beardo too much. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier, where they give the membership. Thank you. Shadow Saiyan says, can Jay get Esther on FNT? We need proper British representation. Frosty says, on prime time, Jeremy shines. Hail the 199. Boomerang Bob says, did Jeremy mention his love for Snake Eyes or his hatred for BVS or Man of Steel? Jupiter Knight says, you did us proud, Jeremy. Hail the 199. Cash says, due to Biden Kamala, the 199 is now the 299. Matt Cat says, my wife and I voted absentee ballot a week ago in GA. This interview was the worst. Archer Blade says, in this farewell, there's no blood, there's no alibi, because I've drawn regret from the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. Eric K says, Californians for Trump, Vance, and Garvey, let's go. The Exalted Patriarch says, Bret should have leaned back and sat man spread while she tossed that word salad. Flag Ninja says, favorite hamburger helper flavor? It's either going to be cheeseburger, macaroni, or lasagna, but I'm going to go with lasagna. Lasagna is kind of that's the one, man. Lasagna, yeah. With some Italian seasoning. Yeah, there you go. Nick says, you didn't cuss out Piers Morgan and you didn't whip it out when you got nervous. Anything else is a total win. Fantastic vs. Nux says, apparently we got Americans in Australia who are mostly for Harris but don't even know her policies but hate Trump despite having good policies. Fantastic vs. Nux says, Jerry Seinfeld backflipped on crapping on people who are woke, ruining comedy. He has now outright apologized for his comment. Jerry Seinfeld. Eric K says, let's see, Norwegian Vikings said you should have had the Cobra thrown for Piers. That would have been epic. Andrew CR says, I'd rather Hillary Clinton talk for an hour than Dan Vask. Let's see, JB username 217. I received 4 ballots at my house and only 2 are in my name. What the fuck? I've lived here for 11 years. Is this what the Dems say are true elections? MAGA Trump for the win. Casey says, I'm having a spine surgery right before voting day, but I'm going to vote even if I have to Uber there. MAGA, let's freaking go. Well, good luck on your spine surgery. That is awesome that you're still going to go out there and vote. We appreciate you. Auto Coder says, DOD Directive 5240.01 was just passed on 9/27/24 that allows U.S. troops to fire on U.S. civilians. I wonder what they're planning to do in November. Shorty Short says, Jeremy Prime is now Jeremy Big Time. Great job. Thank you. Donut Fit says, check James O'Keefe's for meta engineer sting operation. Suspect named dropped Zuck. Interesting. I will check that out. JB username says, you're the only gay I'm comfortable to watch the lights with the lights on. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good fight. Thank you. There's a Viper Chiefs 10 gifted memberships for the first time ever. He's donated something. Never happened before. Troy News says, what's more brutal, the Kamala Fox interview or Jeremy punching kittens? Equally terrible. Delona becomes a new member. Thank you. Slain Hope says, go to the Kamala interview at 18:20 and you'll hear it. So at the Kamala interview, so it's the Kamala interview, not the Piers interview. Okay, I got you. Pixel Shark says, look up Christian Craighead talking about meeting Trump after saving all those people in Africa. Show that to everyone who rails against him at Trump 2024. Over on Rumble, let's see where we're at over here. V6 Neon says, good evening, 199 British contingent calling Freedom Patriot rally in London on the 26th, organized by Tommy Robinson and other Patriot YouTubers. Be advised that Nigel is controlled opposition. He hasn't moved the Overton window, but taken advantage of it while attacking those who have moved it. He doesn't want to deport illegals. Lord of the Ree says, fuck this bitch. She waits for Bret to talk and then acts like he interrupted her when she was actually talking. Wire Robot says, yeah, guys, Jeremy doesn't go around talking about all the guys he blows. That's personal. Lord of the Ree says, I wonder why Harris, let's see, object retardation has anything to do with generations of inbreeding in her mother's home country. Real Stream Hero says, I'm a poll worker in Ohio. When we ask you to remove or cover up all political merch, this is to keep neutral space and not feel intimidating voters. This isn't to hate either side. I'm MAGA all the way. Also, no pride, anything is not allowed either. Again, anything that could start a conflict needs to be removed or covered up. See, the problem, again, not here, I don't know if that creates problems, but like when you're dealing with social justice fucking weirdos, like, does that mean that someone can't wear a fucking Kansas City Chiefs jersey because, what's his face, endorsed Trump? Like, at what point do you stop? Once you open that window up of like, could this intimidate a voter? It's fucking weak, Like, I get it. But so can I not wear a UFC shirt because Dana White endorses Trump? Can I not wear a Hulk Hogan t-shirt because he was at the RNC? Yeah. Can you not wear an Antonio Brown jersey because he endorsed Trump? Like, where does that line stop? Once you draw this line, it just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving. But again, if it's been in place for all these years, I guess it works. But I think it's fucking weak to be like voter intimidation. Like, that sounds bitch made from I promise you MAGA people aren't going to be walking around going, I don't want to be intimidated by Harris voters. So where does the line stop? You know what I mean? So that's what whenever there's something that's done like that, it's like, how far like, I like to have a definitive rule in place. So it's like, you know, that way that there's a definitive line. But once you start moving the line to go, well, anything that can be deemed political, well, what does that mean? That's almost like hate speech. What is hate speech? Define hate speech for me. Define political. So, because literally everything's political at this point. You could define a Geeks and Gamers shirt as being political now. And I'm sure some soy boy beta cuck would probably consider it if you're wearing a Geeks and Gamers shirt and like, they're very political because they call out wokeness. I don't know. I'm just ranting because I just hate this weak-minded pussification of America. Only pussies are offended by somebody wearing a fucking hat or a t-shirt. I'm going to vote for whoever the fuck I want to vote for, and I should be able to wear whatever shirt or hat I want to wear in the process. Not worrying about somebody's fucking feelings, you know? But that's just me. Anyway, Vault95 says, I know he's on Spotify, but is Rogan really that good? You don't become the top YouTube without Google blessing. Kind of like Mr. Beast. After all, Joe has to drug his guests. I mean, people like him. People like him. I'm not a fan personally, but I respect the fact that he's number one and he's stayed number one for all this time. Johnny Whiskey says, I want to bet on Trump presidential run. I can't find any site that traditionally bets who wins for Polymarket. Is it wise to wait last weekend? Would you do it? What would you do if you want to bet on Trump? I'm not going to give you any gambling advice. That's something you'll have to look into yourself. I would not. I'm not a person that I don't do a lot of gambling online, so I can't really give you any info on that. Mar Millen for 5 says, why does no one mention the fact that the border bill had 120 billion funding and only 20 that went to our border? The other 100 billion went to Ukraine because they don't want to talk about that. JD Corey says, this sorry POS looks like she's took acting lessons from Amber Heard. Unfortunately, Amber Heard took just shit to bed. V6 Neon says, breaking Carrie Lake's Democratic opponent makes last-ditch effort to keep his divorce records sealed. Let's see. What is he hiding? Mike Noss says, is she wearing her special earrings? It obviously didn't help. I really wish Rumble would get a better system where I wouldn't have to use this extension. It pisses me off that, like, they got to get a better fucking system. JD Corey says, she has not stepped foot in a courtroom. The one good thing she has done, if the prosecutor is full of shit, the jury will acquit. Vault95 says, what if the October surprise is Harris drops out because she can't handle it anymore? JD Corey says, I can't stand your lies, you snake. Kamala is a woman of substance. We just need a drug test to find out what substance. B. Barrett says, Trump gets interviews with people who hate his guts and he knocks it out of the park. Kamala can't even get interviews with people on her side without sounding like the bigger retard than Jeremy. Mike says, at this point, she has no chance whatsoever of legitimately winning the election. My concern is on election day when states claim they need time to finish counting the ballots. JD Corey says, for the love of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, I give you the name Fruity Pebbles, and I hope one day your balls will job. Unicycle Peon says, oh, and Jeremy Prime was straight fire. I was laughing so hard. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, man. I had fun over there. Lost Hill says, Alex Jones is live on his keeps jumping around on me. Alex Jones is live on his new network addressing the new lawsuit that aims to take his social media account. I watched it earlier, so we'll see what happens. Bronson Knight says, Jack Posobiec, let's see, posted a replay of the video of Kamala possibly adjusting earpiece in interview. I'll check that out. Real Stream Hero says, you can wear sports clothes and whatever you want, but it just can't express what party you're with, or if you're a Fig supporter, there's no line being moved in the sand. This isn't to hate sides. What I'm saying is, what if MAGA people decide to all show up in a Hulk Hogan shirt What that is literally meant to show support for Trump, even though it's not direct support, and then the lefties are going to cry over it. I'm not saying that you as a poll worker, you're at fault. It's just like it's just a dumb rule, I think. But if it works, it works. I just think it's retarded. I think it's more of the pussification of America is what it feels like to me. If you are that triggered by a political T-shirt at a voting booth, then you got bigger problems in life that this rule's not going to help. But yeah, I have no problem with the poll workers. Obviously, I know people are just doing their job from that perspective. I just think it opens up a can of worms. Chris Robert says, Harris is the worst combination of the two oldest professions in the world, prostitution and a politician. 8 o'clock says, if a hat changes your vote, your conviction is weak. Dylan Kerbal says, congrats on representing the 199 on Piers Morgan. You didn't embarrass us. Happy to support you, brother. Everyone, Pokemon, go to the poll. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, talk about the mask-wearing glowy feds who wore Trump like while flying the flag of the evil man with the weird mustache on the boat. Oh, yeah. I saw that. That was 100% like feds. No doubt about that. That wasn't real Trump supporters. Kayla says, 18 U.S. Code Chapter 29, elections and political activities. States also have laws covering elections and have been upheld by the Supreme Court. We're at the end of the road, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a hell of a stream, and I plan on playing some games tonight. I don't know if Tweeted Tone is here, but I don't want to hear your bullshit, Tweeted Tone. I don't want to hear it at all. So I am going to go live later. I don't want to hear your bullshit. I don't want to hear you crying. I don't want to hear you telling me I never game. I'm going to play games later. And I think that I think you should stop complaining. Tweeted Tone. Laughing Man has never super chatted me, by the way. I just like to clear that up. Laughing Man clearly doesn't support me after my great accomplishment being on Piers Morgan. I thought that was finally going to earn me a super chat from Laughing Man, and clearly I misread the room. So I guess I'll just have to deal with that. And it kind of hurts my feelings. It kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. But hey, you got to deal with it, right? One of these days, I'm going to earn a super chat from Laughing Man. One day. But that day is not today. But if Tweeted Tone can quit crying, I'll go play some games. Look at him. Let's see. I just set the link up. Quit yelling at me. Ministry of Wrong Things says Kamala is a poll worker. Philip Johnson says, good night, straight Jeremy. Love you, 199. I appreciate it, man. All right, so we're gonna go over. I'm gonna go eat really quick, and then I'll be playing some video games. Yes, Bull Bear, it will be Fortnite. So this will raid that stream. I'll be live on D-Day Cobra Gaming. So if you guys are interested, you can check it out. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to save. Bam. So the conversation can continue over there. And I don't know who's me playing. Maybe Jay, maybe Beardo, and maybe that loser X-Wing. I don't know. We'll see. But all right, this was awesome. Trump having a town hall right now. Man, the man is unstoppable. We got Patrick Bet David, who's going to be live with, or not live with Trump. He recorded his interview. That's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to cover that. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you guys for all the support, especially over there on the Piers Morgan video. Really appreciate all the comments over there. Made me feel really good. And I guess X-Wing and Jay. So it's L City tonight. We'll see. But all right, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hail to the 199 and the Snake Pit. Appreciate all of you. Have a good night, and I'll see you over. What's up, Harley Dave? Harley Dave finally here as we leave. But I'll see you guys over on the gaming stream here in just a bit. Later, guys. Oh, shit. I didn't hit the overlay. I meant to hit the fucking overlay. You know, how did I end up on the fucking Piers Morgan channel? God. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.